Teslas are expensive. Most people know this, and even Elon Musk knows this. His primary goal, in fact, is to get the cost of Teslas down. But for the time being, they're pricey. Due to the higher cost of a battery, it's a prerequisite that you'll be paying a premium to go electric and get a car with similar features to that of a gas equivalent car. You get all the benefits of an electric car, such as instant torque and zero emissions, but one of the biggest arguments in favor of paying that premium to go electric is the lower cost of ownership. When comparing the actual cost of ownership for a gas-powered car, including maintenance and gas, electric cars often make way more sense than people realize. Today we're going to look at everything I've paid to own my Tesla Model Y, including charging, maintenance, and financing. We're going to see what the true cost of ownership has been over the last 9 months and what I should expect for the life of the car, so let's get into it. I took delivery of my Tesla Model Y in March. It was a weird time to take delivery of a car, but it was also very exciting since the Model Y had only been out for a few weeks at the time. I had pre-ordered the Model Y in October, which at the time required a $2,500 reservation payment. I paid that back in October, and I managed to lock in a slightly reduced price since Tesla raised the price of the car by the time it was released. Still, however, my price tag ended up being higher than what the Model Y sells for today. I bought the long-range all-wheel drive Model Y in red with the upgraded induction wheels. I got the black interior and opted not to get the full self-driving package at delivery, since at the time it didn't really make sense financially. I originally had ordered the rear-wheel drive version, but I heard enough info and rumors about the rear-wheel drive version not coming until later that I decided it would be worth the extra cost to ensure I'd be getting it earlier on. I definitely made the right decision there because I've been able to make a lot of videos with this car for the past 9 months, and the rear-wheel drive has yet to even be made. The future looks good for it, but also very unsure. When you go to Tesla's website, they love to put you right into this option that calculates savings into your monthly payment. Now this is great to keep in mind, and we'll get in depth on what I've saved owning this car versus a gas equivalent car, but I highly recommend that you just don't even acknowledge this page because, as you'll see, there are going to be a lot of extra costs that make it so even the loan calculator on the actual purchase price calculates to less than what you'll be paying. On my order agreement, Tesla lists the base price of the Model Y coming in at $41,000. The long-range all-wheel drive upgrade added $11,000 to that, the red paint added $2,000 to that, and the 20-inch induction wheels added $1,500 to that. Somehow I got lucky saving $500 on those wheels, probably having something to do with the fact that I had ordered a few months prior, but I don't really know why this is the case since the wheels are $2,000, but I didn't question it. On top of that is the required destination and documentation fee, bringing my grand total to $56,700 before tax. Keep in mind that there is no way to bypass that $1,200 fee, even if you pick the car up direct from the factory. It's technically separate, and it's a separate fee, but it's required, so just add $1,200 to any Tesla price you look at online before you calculate tax. Now let's talk about depreciation. For most brand new cars, you lose a good amount of value just by driving it off the lot. Teslas are supposed to hold their value very, very well because they are electric and constantly improving with software updates, so I'm curious if after 9 months the value of my Model Y has already dropped by a lot or not. According to Kelley Blue Book, their trade-in value comes in at $53,017, and that's without the full self-driving package included. So right there, that's not bad, especially since the car has 14,000 miles on it, which I was putting into that calculator, and buying one brand new today with my exact specs would cost $55,190 before tax. So of course the value hasn't increased or anything, but it isn't as drastic as you see in many other cars. One little thing to note here is that later on I upgraded to full self-driving for $7,000. It's a software upgrade and now it costs $10,000, so I wanted to see how much Kelley Blue Book values that upgrade. The trade-in value of my exact same car, but with full self-driving, from Kelley Blue Book comes in at $54,415. So they are currently calculating that full self-driving upgrade to be worth about $1,398 after delivery. So if you think you're going to buy and possibly sell shortly after, you'll see a larger depreciation of the full self-driving package because most companies don't value full self-driving nearly as high as Tesla does. But back to the cost of my vehicle. I had already paid $2,500 on the car as an order fee that went towards the purchase price. At delivery, I did a down payment of $7,279.75, and I traded in my 2008 Honda Fit with 200,000 miles for $500, so that was being discounted. But then the rest of the $52,900 was financed, meaning that when you add all of those together, my full cost comes to $63,179.75 at delivery with all taxes, fees, and registration. Now, if you bought today and decided to get the stock wheels and the stock paint, you'd be looking at $4,000 to $5,000 less than what I paid, plus that tax reduction, so keep that in mind, but you'll still be coming out fairly similar overall. Now, I've learned a lot over the course of owning this car, to the point where I know that the way I set up financing is not ideal, and I should probably refinance to a better rate or a smaller loan length, but at the time, it was the best I could do. I financed through Tesla, which actually ended up being through Wells Fargo, for 72 months at 3.5%. So that is 6 years that I will be paying a car payment each month. 72 months is usually not recommended by financial experts, most of whom say 60 months should be the maximum, so keep that in mind for yourself. I've personally started paying more each month than that minimum, which can be smart to do, but I'll calculate the minimum here since we're talking true cost of ownership and my higher payments are optional. Paying the minimum, my car payments come in at $816.81 each month. Of those payments, around $667 has been going to the principal, and about $150 has been going to interest each month on average. So over the course of 9 months, I've paid $5,999.89 towards the car itself, and $1,350 towards interest to Wells Fargo. Over the lifespan of the loan, it is scheduled out that it should be about $5,910.32 in interest that I'll be paying to Wells Fargo, meaning that after all is said and done in 6 years, I will have paid $68,090.07 to own the Tesla Model Y, including the car, delivery fee, financing, initial registration, tax, and all. And then keep in mind that the annual DMV registration will be an added cost every year. Again, there are certain things you can do and things I plan to do to make sure that you don't actually pay this much interest, but currently that's what's scheduled. We'll get into charging costs in a second and see how that is the biggest cost savings overall, but first let's talk about incentives. In the state of California, I was able to get a $2,000 clean vehicle rebate. I believe this program is changing a bit, but there is still going to be a rebate available, and it's something you can only get by going electric, which is why I'm including it in the math. On top of that $2,000 check from the state, I got a $1,000 rebate check from my power company, Southern California Edison, since for them, they'll be supplying the energy for my car and it's worthwhile for them to incentivize me to buy an electric car. So that brings my total delivery cost, including fees and all, down from $62,179.75 to just over $59,000. For insurance, I'm using Tesla insurance, and my monthly rate is $148.91. So each month, to have this car and not power it, I'm paying the car payment of $816.81 plus insurance, coming to a monthly total of $965.72. But of course, electricity ain't free, and that is yet another cost to remember. The good news is that if you charge at the right time or at the right places, you can save a lot charging versus buying gas. I have charged my car almost exclusively at 2 places, Tesla Superchargers and my home charger. Now, I paid $250 to get my home charger installed, and overall, that's a pretty good price. In order to get those home charging savings, you will most likely need some sort of upgrade or installation costs, so again, keep that in mind. Over the past 9 months, I have driven 14,164 miles. On average, I've been getting 272 watt-hours per mile, meaning that I need about 272 watt-hours of power, or 0.272 kilowatt-hours of power, to drive 1 mile. So I have used a total of 3,853 kilowatt-hours to drive 14,164 miles in this car. Of that total, 2,204 kilowatt-hours were from 59 different stops at Tesla Superchargers, and the remaining 1,649 kilowatt-hours were from home charging. I'll give you exactly what I paid, but I also want to calculate what the average person should expect to pay. I say this because I've actually had quite a few Model Y referrals to the point where I haven't even paid for supercharging. I did pay for home charging though for the remaining 1,649 kilowatt hours with a rate of 15 cents per kilowatt hour, coming to a total of $247.35. So for 9 months and over 14,000 miles, I have paid $247.35 on charging, since supercharging has been free. And that's an incredible number. Comparing that to a great gas car getting 30 miles per gallon, that would have come closer to $1,400 in gas. So for me, I've saved over $1,000 by charging instead of filling up on gas, but the average person probably doesn't have a YouTube channel constantly talking about the Model Y, and here's what supercharging would have cost for you if you didn't have any referral miles. With an average cost of 28 cents per kilowatt hour, the 2,204 kilowatt hours I got from supercharging would have come out to $617.12. Add that to my home charging, and we have a total of $864.47 spent on charging to drive, again, 14,164 miles. Again, a 30 miles per gallon gas car would have come closer to $1,400, meaning that if I paid for all of my charging, it still would have saved me $535.53 to drive the Model Y. Pretty insane savings right there, and I bet the real example of this incredibly low cost of ownership comes in with something like the Standard Range Plus Model 3. If you buy that car for $38,000 plus the delivery fee, of course, and pay for charging, I imagine the lower cost of ownership being even more dramatic since the car itself is cheaper and you are saving on charging. For maintenance and repairs, I did have one repair that wasn't anybody's fault. A big rock hit my windshield and ended up needing a full replacement. At the time, my coverage was such that I had to pay my $1,000 deductible, so that definitely sucked. I paid that and upgraded my insurance so I wouldn't have that issue in the future. I had a number of Tesla service appointments early on, but none of them were any cost to me since everything was covered under the included warranty. I did get a few upgrades like a ceramic coating and an upgraded suspension, but I'll keep those costs off of here since they are entirely optional. Now, depending on how you balance your down payment financing, trade-in, and tax rates, your numbers will surely differ, but here is my grand total for the car for the past 9 months. I paid a $2,500 order fee, the down payment of $7,279.75, which included taxes and registration, my monthly payments for 9 months totaling $7,351.27, my insurance payments for 9 months totaling $1,340.19, my charging cost of $247.35, and my windshield replacement at $1,000, coming to a grand total of $19,718.58. Now, I did trade in my Honda Fit, which was paid off, so I got $500 there and $3,000 in rebates, which means I truly paid $16,218.58. So keep in mind that charging might be more expensive for you if you don't have any referral miles, or it could be less if you're home charging more and your home charging rates are cheaper than mine. 15 cents is actually kind of expensive for the average house. A lot of people pay 9 cents or less per kilowatt hour, which would mean your home charging would be even cheaper than mine. But you'll also likely have a trade-in that is a much higher value than my terrible Honda Fit, and you won't have a $1,000 windshield replacement because even if the same incident happened to you, you'll be smart with your insurance coverage from the start, unlike me. On top of that, the price has decreased on the Model Y, and you don't have to pay $2,000 extra to get red or $2,000 extra for the induction wheels, so you could come in cheaper overall. Now, if you compare this to a Honda HR-V, yeah, even after considering all those rebates and reduced costs, the HR-V is going to be cheaper to operate. But Teslas are truly competing at this point with premium vehicles like the BMW X3. Right here, I built out an X3 with specs as similar to the Model Y as I could, and you can see that before taxes and fees, it's a little cheaper, but over the course of a few years with this car, the Model Y would end up being a cheaper cost of ownership, thanks to no oil changes, no larger engine repairs, no gas, and EV rebates. I didn't include full self-driving in my calculations because I paid for that after delivery, and the average person probably isn't willing to spend $10,000 for the package at this point in time. Additionally, no other car company sells a feature like this, and especially not a feature as complete and promising so much with software updates, so it wouldn't really make sense to include it in my calculations that you can't actually directly compare with other vehicles. This was the first time I had added up all of these numbers, and I was a bit surprised looking at the costs, but it's because I didn't have a good trade-in and my down payment was close to $10,000, which is over 2 times as large as what Tesla calculates by default on their website. So I've paid over $16,000 to own and operate this car over the past 9 months, but nearly $10,000 of that was a down payment. If we take that off, next year is going to be a lot cheaper overall. And who knows, I could even try to get it as cheap as possible by charging it more superchargers, using up my free miles, and refinancing to a lower interest rate. In the future, I'd plan ahead more and really get my numbers and loans in order to make sure I'm saving as much as I can, but I'd still definitely buy this car again. Plus, as we saw, it's overall holding its value very well on Kelley Blue Book, so depreciation in the first 9 months hasn't been anywhere close to what it usually is buying a brand new car. In any case, I hope this was helpful, and definitely let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to this channel for a lot more videos like this. Make sure to like this video. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanShawTech. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.